Welcome to today's explainer. If you're tuning in, chances are you've got some pretty massive dreams bouncing around in your head. Maybe you're staring down the barrel of writing that novel, finally getting fit, or, mastering a crazy new skill. But there's a familiar villain that always seems to crush the party, right? Laziness. You sit down, fully intending to crush it, and suddenly, scrolling social media or taking a quick nap just feels infinitely better. Well, today we are going to squash that feeling. We're unpacking a highly effective 3-step action framework designed specifically to beat laziness and actually get you moving.
Okay, let's dive into this. Why on earth do massive goals paralyze us? We have these incredible visions of what we want, but the second we try to actually take action, we just freeze. It's so frustrating, isn't it? You know exactly what you want to do, you know how to do it, but this invisible wall of laziness drops right down in front of you. But here's the thing. Understanding the why behind this paralysis is literally the first step to unlocking your productivity.
And this definition right here, this completely changes the narrative. If you only remember one single thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. Laziness is not who you are. Seriously, do not think for a second that you're just broken or unmotivated. According to the source material we're unpacking today, laziness is actually just a biological response. When you throw a massive, unstructured task at your brain, it freaks out. It gets overwhelmed. And what does an overwhelmed brain do? It takes the path of least resistance. It naturally chooses the easiest comfort available to escape the stress. It's just a habit you've formed over time to deal with overwhelm. And the absolute best news, habits can be changed. So how exactly do we outsmart that brain overwhelm? We use a system. Here are the 3 steps we're going to cover to beat laziness. Step 1, break it down. Step 2, create routines. And step 3, the 2-minute rule. Simple enough, right? Let's jump into how to actually use this roadmap. So the crucial point is this. Step 1 is all about breaking your goals down until they feel ridiculously small. You've got to bypass that alarm bell in your head, screaming, "Whoa, this is way too much work." And I don't just mean breaking a project into phases or chapters. I mean shrinking it down so much that your brain doesn't even register it as a threat or a source of stress. Just look at the contrast here. It's super powerful. We have to shrink the mountain. If your big dream is to write a massive book, forget the book for a second. Your only goal today is to write one single sentence. That's it. Want to learn guitar? Don't stress about playing a whole song. Just practice one single chord. Climbing a mountain literally only happens one step at a time. By contrasting your massive dream with these tiny micro actions, you completely strip away the intimidation factor. And underlying all of this is a massive mindset shift. You have to stop chasing perfection and just focus on making small, simple progress. Look, perfection is the absolute enemy of starting. When we demand a flawless performance right out of the gate, we're basically guaranteeing that our brain will retreat into laziness just to avoid the pressure. Success isn't built on being perfect from day one. It's built on small, simple, consistent progress. Moving on to step 2, stop relying purely on willpower and create easy routines. For way too long, we've been told to just grit our teeth and push through it. But brute force is an exhausting strategy. Instead, we need to make starting easier by actually designing our environment to pull us forward. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why. Think about willpower versus routines. Willpower is just like a battery on your phone, and it drains super fast. By the end of a long day, that battery is completely shot, and laziness is going to win every time. Routines, on the other hand, they make actions automatic. They don't require this conscious, exhausting choice over and over again. They completely bypass the agonizing decision-making process. The golden rule for building these routines is simple. The fewer obstacles you have to starting, the easier it becomes for your brain to follow through. Our source material gives a brilliantly practical example of this. Say you want to build a routine of exercising in the morning. Put your running shoes right next to your bed the night before. You're literally removing the physical hurdle of digging through your closet while you're half asleep. You want to engineer your environment so that doing the hard thing actually becomes the path of least resistance. All right, now we arrive at step 3, which is honestly the most powerful part of this entire framework. This is the climax of our strategy, the real magic trick, the 2-minute rule. The 2-minute rule is an absolute masterclass in bounded effort. Here's how it works. You just promise yourself that you're going to work on your dreaded task for exactly 2 minutes. And that is it. Want to read a book? Commit to reading one single page. Need to clean a disastrously messy room? Just tackle one tiny corner. You're making a contract with yourself for a mere 120 seconds of effort. Starting is universally the hardest part, right? But literally anyone, absolutely anyone, can commit to 120 seconds. The reason this works so phenomenally well comes down to the basic physics of human behavior. Once you push past those first 2 minutes, momentum takes over. The source uses this perfect analogy. It's exactly like a ball rolling down a hill. Getting it moving takes a little push, but once it's rolling, gravity does all the heavy lifting. Once you start reading that one page or wiping down that one corner, you'll usually find you actually want to keep going. The laziness just kind of evaporates because you're already in motion. But, okay, what happens after you start? How do we keep this momentum going tomorrow and the next day? That brings us to a crucial bonus tip for maintaining this whole framework. Reward yourself for starting. This isn't just about giving yourself a pat on the back. This is about cementing your new behavior into an automatic, lifelong routine. Small rewards are the glue that builds permanent habits. After you knock out those 2 minutes or hit that micro goal, give yourself a little treat. Listen to your absolute favorite track, or take a quick, intentional break. By doing this, you're actively rewiring your brain. You're taking the act of starting, which used to cause major overwhelm, and linking it to a positive rush of dopamine. You're literally teaching your brain to look forward to following through next time. As you start testing out these steps, you really need to keep this powerful quote straight from our source material in mind. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the journey. Look, there are going to be days when laziness wins out. There will be days when you skip your 2 minutes. You have to completely destigmatize those slip-ups. Do not let one lazy afternoon snowball into a week of guilt. Have some self-compassion. Realize that stumbling is totally normal, and just gently reset your 2-minute rule for tomorrow. So, there's the framework. You now know that laziness is just a habit born out of overwhelm. You know how to shrink the mountain, set up easy routines, and spark some serious momentum with the 2-minute rule. So now, the ball is entirely in your court. Please don't wait for the quote-unquote perfect moment, because honestly, it simply doesn't exist. I'm challenging you right now. Pick one tiny thing. Look at your life and ask yourself, what 2-minute step will you take right this second to light that fire? Get out there, shrink the mountain, and just take that step.